We are hurtling towards the end of the season and it is tight. Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is actually my debut football video. I put a little welcome video on yesterday to just say hello and welcome you to my channel. But I thought that the first thing, because really pretty much everything else is done and dusted in the Prem this year, isn't it? Manchester City have won the title. Newcastle have managed to get into the Champions League, which is a massive achievement for them. So I looked and I couldn't believe how tight things are down at the bottom of the Premier League. We have Everton sitting on 33 points with a minus 24 goal difference. Leicester on 31 with a minus 18 goal difference. Could that come into account? And Leeds on 31 points with a minus 27 goal difference. It's really hard to call, isn't it? Because you look at the fixtures on the final day, all three teams are at home. That could end up with 3 wins, and then it all stays exactly as it is. It's so tight. Leicester City are at home to West Ham on the final day. And, you can imagine West Ham, they're in a European final for the first time. They've managed to get there. Surely on that final day, they're safe. They're absolutely fine flying. Surely they're on the beach on that final day. You saw them play against Leeds though, and they were terrific in that game. Could have scored a few more goals than the ones that they did, the 3-1 victory. But you've got to think on that final day, they're not going to be fully focused on that with such a massive game for that club's history ahead. Moving on to Everton, they're at home to Bournemouth, which is a pretty similar situation in the sense Bournemouth have done their job. They're completely free. They're safe and, they know that and they'll be thinking about their summer holidays as well. And finally, Leeds are at home to Tottenham, who are struggling, to say the least. So it all begs for a crazy final day, doesn't it? I think Everton will be certain of surviving, obviously, if Leeds fail to beat Tottenham and Leicester don't beat West Ham. Goes without saying. Leicester have to beat West Ham to have any hopes of avoiding relegation, and hope Bournemouth can take something off Everton on the final day. That does include Leeds doing the unthinkable and turning a 9-goal difference. It's not going to happen, is it? Sorry, Leeds fans. Pushing on, if I had to make a prediction right now, as tight as it is, I think I'm just going to have to say exactly how it is right now. I've said on the podcast recently, I wasn't sure that any of the teams in the race were actually going to get a point. I don't think any Everton fan looking at it would complain with having to beat Bournemouth at home on the final day. And with Leeds, it's just tough to find a way to back Leeds at the minute, sadly. And they're a good club and a historic club, and that you want them in the league, and they've been a valuable asset to the Premier League since they've been back, and they've played fun football, and they've been so entertaining to watch. It almost seems such a shame how things have gone since Bielsa was sacked by the club. And speaking to Leeds fans, I know a couple of Leeds fans, and they just want him back. And obviously he's with the Uruguayan national team now, but they just want him back and they want the good old days. I think they've lost that identity now, where they're hopeless at the back. And Sam Allardyce, of all people, he's one who focuses on sorting out a defence when he comes in these crisis jobs that he gets at the end of the season. And even he's struggling with that. The performances, they seem to try, but it doesn't quite get him over the line. And I think, sadly, I really wish I wasn't saying it, but I think Leeds are down. Going on to the other two, this is where it gets tough, because Leicester City, I've heard it all, well, for the back end of the season. Leicester are too good to go down. They shouldn't be where they are and things like this. You look at the squad and it's probably a fair comment. You do look at that Leicester squad and you think, how on earth have you managed to get where you are? I think there were warning signs last season, and obviously a very stagnant summer in the transfer market. Very underwhelming, to be honest. And after the alarm bells of last year, you'd imagine they'd have tried something out to get them away from what they've inevitably become a part of in a relegation battle. And you look at things going on there. The fans aren't happy. Dean Smith's doing his best. I'm not sure he is the man. He was the man to do this and to get them out of where they are. And he's found it hard. He's got a couple of admirable points, of course, and that one against Newcastle, they could have nicked it at the end as well. And, they give it a valiant effort and they managed to get a point, which could be crucial. We won't know, obviously, till the final day. But then we get on to Everton. Sean Dyche. I'm a big, big admirer of Sean Dyche. I think he's the type of manager that the Premier League needs. He's someone that's well respected by most. His job at Burnley, I think everybody can agree how brilliant he was at Burnley. But things seemed to just take a turn, didn't it? And they seemed to just go in a really downward trajectory to the point where people started to say, I think it's on for Everton this season. They're going down. And even their own fans were starting to believe that might be the case. But things have taken a turn in recent weeks. Obviously, I go back to it again because it's just mind-boggling. You look at Brighton and how brilliant they've been this season, confirmed European football as well. And, to go into that game and to lose in the fashion they did, 5-1. I don't think anybody in the world expected that to happen. And credit to Sean Dyche and credit to the Everton players because they dug deep when they needed to. And that is what gives me the belief that I think Everton are going to be okay on the final day. Bournemouth, as I say, not much to play for. It's all in Everton's hands. All they have to do is go to Goodison Park. That's going to be rocking. You see how their fans are with situations like this, like last year. They was in a similar position last year and the fans dragged them through with Frank Lampard in charge. And I just can't see anything other than Everton getting something from that game against Bournemouth. I think they'll win the game, even without Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But I almost think that, sadly, because he is a very talented lad, but I think Everton are used to not having him now with the amount of injuries he's had. It's a shame. But, he can't be relied on. So I think they've managed to work out a formula to not need him anymore because he's not there that often. I can't see anything else other than Everton winning, and regardless of other results, that would keep them safe, and Leicester and Leeds would be relegated. But let me know what you think because I'm sure this will divide opinion. And fans of each club and fans of other clubs that might be playing them on the final day, let me know what you think because your team might be on the beach or they might just want bragging rights. They just might want that extra 3 points, get up another league position. And for the fans of Everton, Leicester and Leeds, let me know how you're feeling for what. And who do you think's staying up and who do you think's going down? I've been Callum Nichol. Thank you very much for tuning in to my debut football video. I hope you've enjoyed it. All the very best. See you later.